Hello, good evening.
Good evening, madam.
Yeah, I am waiting until other students join. We'll wait for some more minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so there are only 4 students. Anyway, we'll start and then other students will join on the way. So today we are moving to a new topic that is evaluation, assessment and evaluation. Yeah. Okay, let me. Okay, so the topic is assessment and evaluation. So that is the topic. So you all might have heard of assessment plus evaluation. So assessment is very common in the field of education. So when it comes to English language, teaching and learning, assessment is there. Okay, here. See the topic, how to distinguish assessment and evaluation. So you should have a clear idea whether assessment and evaluation are they same or are they different. What's your opinion?
Different, madam.
Different, madam.
What do you think?
Different.
Assessment and evaluation, are they same?
No.
No, ma'am.
But from my end, the nothing happened to the connection. It was there. But anyhow, we lost the contact, the connection for a while. Okay, now we are back. Okay, now just get an idea.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so assessment. So now we are going to check the difference between assessment and evaluation. Assessment is basically gathering of information. So when conducting assessment, we are gathering information. It's about understanding a student's current knowledge, skills, or performance in the language. So using an assessment, we are getting an idea about students' current knowledge, skills, or performance in the language. So we are talking about English language. And there are diverse assessment tools. There are different assessment tools such as tests, quizzes, observations, discussions, interviews, and many more. But basically, all these assessment tools can be divided into two as formal and informal. So then when we say test quizzes, they are formal assessment tools. Observations, discussions, interviews, they are informal assessment tools. Okay. Okay, get some idea, I will explain.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. So assessment has been compared to baking a cake. So we'll understand the meaning. As I told you, assessments are done to get an understanding about students' current knowledge and their skills and performance. So assessment is similar to checking the cake while it is baking. So normally when we make a cake, we prepare the dough and then we will put it on a tray and then we will put inside an oven. And then while it is there, inside the oven, we pull it out and then we check whether it is properly baked or not. Assessment is like that. Assessments are like that. You might look at its color, touch the dough, or even take a small taste. Okay, so then you want to check whether the color is okay. Sometimes you will touch the cake, the top of the cake, and then you will press. And sometimes you may have a small piece. You are gathering information about its current state. Okay, so maybe you need to keep the cake inside the oven for 1 hour, we'll say, or 45 minutes. But before 45 minutes, you will take it out and check. Okay, that is to get information about its current state. Assessments are also like that. Using assessments, you can get an idea about students' current knowledge, skills, and ability to perform. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we'll go to the next one. Then what is evaluation? Harry, okay. Hope you read it. Evaluation. So, assessments are done to get information. So, what are evaluations? So, using evaluation, we are giving a judgment of the information collected through assessment. Okay, using assessment, we collected the information. Now we are giving a judgment on collected information. It uses the, yeah. So then we use assessment data. So we are using assessment to gather data. We use the particular data to take decisions or make an opinion. Okay, so then when it comes to evaluation, it is having predetermined criteria or standards to judge the effectiveness of something. Okay, like program, teaching methods, or students' overall progress. So when it comes to evaluation, that is to give a judgment. So when we are evaluating something, we have predetermined criteria. Okay, so then criteria has been well prepared. Accordingly, the judgment is given. Harry, okay, we'll see.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so then assessment is just like the cake while it is being baked. Evaluation is similar to taking the cake out of the oven and giving a judgment on it. A judgment in the sense you can say whether the cake is properly baked or cake is very nice. It's nicely baked, or else you can say the cake is not tasty. So then it's not properly baked like that. Okay, so while checking the cake, while it is being baked, that is assessment. After baking the cake, taking it out and giving a judgment on the quality of the cake is similar to evaluation. Now are they clear?
Yes, madam.
Okay. We'll see. Here also you can see.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, we'll see here. In this table, there are 3 columns and there are 5 rows. So from this column table, you can understand the difference between assessment and evaluation. So when we think of the purpose of assessment, that is to gather information. But purpose of evaluation is to make judgments. Focus of assessment is on current knowledge, skills, performance. But the focus of evaluation is to check effectiveness, to check the worth, or to check the progress. And assessment tools are tests, quizzes, observations, discussions. But evaluation tools are analysis of assessment data. Outcome of assessment is understanding current status. But outcome of evaluation is decision making and improvement. Okay, so then we have to take decisions according to the evaluation. But remember, assessment and evaluation both work together. Assessment provides the raw data and evaluation helps us interpret and use that data to make informed decisions and improve learning. Okay, both are important. Assessment is important to gather data for evaluation. Okay, do you have any questions regarding this? Just check whether things are clear to you or not.
Clear, madam.
We'll go further. Harry, basic concepts of evaluation. Some of you might have done these things, I know, but here simply we'll touch. So there are basic concepts of evaluation like assessment, test, measurement, and evaluation. We'll see. Yeah, check it. These things should come to the other side. Yeah, wait. Okay, so here, assessment, test, measurement, evaluation. Now we'll first understand assessment, but already you know it. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, assessment. Assessment, as we already got to know, it's any variety of procedure used to gather information. And for an example, assessment can be a written test, laboratory test, observation, student self-record, portfolio, diary writing, anything. So if anything is used to gather information about students' performance, we call it an assessment. Next, measurement. Just check what measurement is.
Okay, ma'am.
Measurement. The process of obtaining numerical value with the description. So from that you can understand under measurement, we should definitely have a numerical value with the description. Okay, so then measurement means that denoting the condition of an achievement. So that is also about achievement level, but that should be along with the numerical value. Okay, see the example, then you will understand it better. Sanoji obtained 80 marks by solving 8 mathematical problems out of 10 correctly. Okay, this particular student has got 80 marks for mathematics, not for English. So then how she got 80 marks is clearly given. There were 10 mathematical problems and she got corrected 8. So that is how she got 80 marks. See here, numerical value is there, 80 marks. And description is there. Solving 8 mathematical problems out of 10 correctly. Okay, measurement should be like that. Measurement should be always with the numerical value. Numerical value means statistic plus a description. So that is measurement. Okay. So if you are having doubts about measurement, if it is not clear, you can ask. If it is clear, we'll go to test.
Okay.
Okay, test. Test is also a kind of instrument which is used for evaluation, because the data gathered from test, assessment, measurement, all are used for evaluation. Okay, so under test, there should be questions, set of questions. Simply, test should be in black and white. Black and white means it should be printed. So there are non-printed test also. For an example, oral test. Some oral test, they do not have papers. Some have, of course. So then when we use the term test, you should remember it's always posing a set of questions systematically. Systematically organized set of questions are there in a test. For an example, school term test, aptitude test, they can be considered as test. We'll see. Okay, so then assessment, measurement, test. Now we are with evaluation. Just see.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so here you can see evaluation. The term covers test, measurement, assessment, and all. So then evaluation consider data gathered from all the other instruments. That means test, measurement, assessment, and based on the gathered data, evaluation gives a judgment. Okay, so that is the special thing regarding evaluation. Evaluation is done with the intention of giving a judgment. See the example. Come this way. Yeah. And here. I don't know what happened. So maybe because of raining, this signal length has become very weak. I assume like that. Otherwise, there's no any other problem, no electricity failure, nothing. But actually, so anyhow, the connection got lost. And that may be due to the weather condition. Okay, so as I told you, evaluation, it covers test, measurement, assessment, and other concepts. here. So then in evaluation, we can see quantitative description or qualitative description or both. So we know in measurement, it should be a numerical value plus a description. But here under evaluation, it can be quantitative description or qualitative description or both. So evaluation can be done in any way. See the example. Isuru won the reward assigned to the best pupil of the year. So that is the judgment. Isuru won the reward assigned to the best pupil of the year. We go further. Now, by this time, you have some idea about what is assessment, what is evaluation, the difference between assessment and evaluation. Assessment is to get information. Evaluation is to give judgment. And then we discuss about basic concepts of evaluation, just like assessment, measurement, test, evaluation. So then now we discuss when we are giving a judgment, it can be qualitative, quantitative, or both. Do you have any questions up to now? Okay, if you do not have questions, we can go to the next. And purposes of assessment and evaluation. And okay, just see.
Okay.
And okay. Assessment and evaluation in language teaching serve variety of purposes. That means assessment and evaluation both are important for both students and teachers. Instructors means teachers. Okay, now we'll see how assessment and evaluation helps students. So placement. Okay, so then assessment or else evaluation or both helps to determine the appropriate learning level for the students. So then there are different types of evaluation, placement evaluation, formative evaluation, summative evaluation, diagnostic evaluation, like that. Anyhow, because of assessment and evaluation, the students' knowledge can be checked. That means when a program starts, it's important to determine the appropriate learning level. Okay, so then it's just like a placement test. So then the institutions, the teachers, lecturers, they check whether this particular student is having sufficient or required knowledge to follow the program. Okay, that is the meaning of placement. So if the management feels that the student can follow this program, the students will be placed in the program. Okay, assessment helps to determine the appropriate learning level. Sometimes you might have heard of placement test. For some programs, placement tests are there. Placement tests are conducted to check whether the student's existing knowledge is okay to carry on the program. Okay, that is one advantage of assessment for students. If it is not clear, you can ask or else you can put a message. And next. Okay.
Okay, madam.
Okay. So then assessment can identify area where students needs to improve. Okay, because of assessment, we can get an idea about students' strength and weaknesses. If we notice there are certain areas where student is very weak, so we can get some remedial actions to improve those areas. Okay, so then assessments are a type of diagnosing. The doctors are diagnosing and checking the disease and prescribe medicine. Okay, so then because of assessment, measurement, test, the student, the teachers can understand the strength and weaknesses of students. So especially when they notice there are some weaknesses, the remedial actions can be taken. Is that clear? One advantage of assessment.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then formative assessment. Formative assessments are done while the program is going on. Like quizzes, observations, discussions. Okay, so formative assessments are also very good because of formative assessments, teachers can understand about their teaching. So formative assessments are similar to a kind of feedback. Okay, so then teachers can get an idea whether students understand what they are telling or not. Okay, so then after conducting formative assessment, teachers, they are supposed to give feedback to the students. And these feedbacks are very important because they can check, they can get to know the areas where they need to improve, like that. We'll go further. just read.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. We'll say, so now in the earlier slide, we discussed the importance of assessment. They actually it is regarding placement assessment or placement evaluation. That means considering the marks obtained by students, we can put students into different level. And then we discuss students are having weaknesses and strength. Using assessment, we can understand them. And then we discuss about formative assessment. Formative assessments are done while the program is going on. From a formative assessment, the teachers can get a feedback about their teaching, and students can get kind of feedback about their learning. Now we are going to talk about summative assessment. Summative assessments are done after the program was over. So then summative assessments are really helpful for progress and future achievements. If I give you an example, A-level exam can be taken as a summative assessment, summative evaluation. From the marks obtained for A-level exam, the students can continue their education in higher level. And then self-assessment and reflections are there. Okay, so then proper assessment, actually, they should encourage students to reflect on their learning journey. So there are lots of techniques for that. So then students should be asked to maintain portfolio, maintain diaries like that, self-assessment and reflection. So then when students go for self-assessment and reflection, they will develop their metacognitive skills. Okay, so at last this helps them to become more autonomous and responsible persons for their learning. Okay, if it is not clear, you can ask. Are you clear with these things?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now, up to now, we were talking about how it is important for students actually, even formative assessment. I don't know whether I told as teachers, but anyhow, this should be from students' point of view. Now only we are going to check how these evaluation assessment is helpful for teachers? Just get an idea.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, yes. So now we'll see how evaluation and assessment is useful for teachers, instructors. Okay, so then evaluation, assessment, they are kind of feedback for teachers uh, about their teaching style or teaching about their teaching. So then just imagine it's like that. In simple way I will explain. So just imagine in a test, in an assessment, or in an evaluation, most of the students get very lower marks. Okay, so the teacher cannot ignore it. So teacher can think, why my students, the majority of my students gotten lower marks. So then teacher has to think, is it because because of the problem of weakness of my teaching? So what are my weaknesses? So I have to improve my strength. I have to avoid my weaknesses and I have to do better next time, like that. Okay, so the teachers can get an idea about the areas for improvement. Okay, so then for instructors, evaluation assessment gives a chance to identify areas for improvement. And also, they can alter or adapt their teaching to better meet students' needs. Okay, so then assessment, evaluation, they are a nice feedback for teachers. Okay, so because of assessment and evaluation, teachers can identify students' strengths and weaknesses. Okay, so then inside the class, there are students who are very clever. At the same time, there are students who are very weak. So teachers, they have to cater all. Okay, so then after teacher understood students' strength and weakness, the teacher can adjust their teaching The teacher cannot teach the same way that she teaches to clever students to the weak students. Okay, teacher has to use different learning styles. And it's a must for teachers to use different teaching styles. But the majority of teachers, they will use the same teaching style every day. Okay, from the day that they got their appointment to the day that they get their retirement, some teachers, they are using the same teaching style. It's wrong, because inside the class, students are having different learning style. Okay, so then having one particular teaching style for students with different learning style is not correct at all. And we'll go to the next one. Yeah. Harry, okay. This one, communication of progress. You just see it.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so then data gathered from assessment, test, evaluation, measurement, all these things can be used for communication purpose. Communication with whom? To communicate with parents, to communicate with administrators and stakeholders. And through your experience, I know you all know, after each and every term test, schools are conducting parents meeting. And even you might have gone there as a parent, or maybe your parents, they have gone there for you. Okay, so during the parents meeting, the teachers are communicating with the parents about the student, paying attention to the marks obtained by the student. Okay, so then assessment data is really important for communication purpose. We'll see some more. Okay, now we'll talk about the overall benefit of assessment.
Okay, ma'am.
Now we'll talk about overall benefit motivation. So then well-designed assessment can motivate students. But in Sri Lankan context, I know most of the students, they hate assessment, they hate test, they hate evaluation, whatever it is. If the assessment is properly designed, it can motivate students. So then it can motivate students to achieve their goals. And then confidence. Effective feedback helps students to build confidence in their abilities. Okay, so then after evaluation, after assessment, teachers are giving feedback. But if teachers are giving effective feedback, the students can build up a very good confidence in their language abilities. Okay, teachers should help students to build up their confidence. And then differentiation. Assessment information allow instructors to tailor learning experiences to a individual student need. Yes. Okay, so that means so then individual students' needs are different. So all are not same. So the data gathered from assessment can be used to allow teachers to tailor certain learning experiences. Okay, that means all the students in the class, they are not same. So they have different exposure to language. Okay, so then all are not same. So because of the assessment, teachers can understand this difference. So if they do not have assessment, they don't know there are differences among students. Otherwise, they may feel all the students are alike, but it's not. Now we are moving to another section, principles of effective assessment and evaluation. Yeah, okay, just read.
Okay, ma'am.
Hari, okay. So there are certain conditions that we expect from assessment here. Principles of effective assessment and evaluation. So assessment should maintain these things, then only it will become very good assessment. Number one is validity. So what is validity? So then assessment should measure what it intended to measure. For an example, here one example is there. So what is the purpose of a speaking assessment? So in a speaking assessment, speaking skills should be checked, should be measured. But instead of speaking skill, if someone is paying more attention to memorization ability, so then the student is nicely talking, but she cannot remember certain things, because that's okay. But if her fluency, speaking ability is okay, there is a validity. Okay, so then in a speaking test, there's no point of checking the memorization ability. Okay, that means particular test should test what it is supposed to test. So that is the idea. If it is a written test, there's no point of checking listening skill, listening ability. That is something else. Okay, whatever it is, assessment should maintain its validity. Validity means what it's supposed to measure should be measured. Okay, then reliability. So what is reliability? Reliability means, I will explain like this. Just imagine a teacher comes to the class in the first week of the month and give a test. On vocabulary, we'll say give a test. So then the students answer, and then just imagine one student gotten for this assessment 80 marks out of 100. And then the teacher is conducting a similar test, not exactly the same, similar test at the end of the month. So then if that students who got 80 marks at the beginning, if she has taken 20 marks, what can we say? That means this assessment did not maintain reliability. Okay, so that means if there is a vast difference between marks when the exam is held at one point and when it is held once again, if there is a huge gap in the mark, we can say that particular test is not reliable. Reliability has not been maintained. Is it clear, reliability?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if it is not clear, you just tell me. Yeah, I will explain. And next. There are some more. Please click me. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. We'll see. Another quality is authenticity. Authenticity means we have to arrange assessment or test, but using this test and assessment, the real world language use should be checked. Okay, but that does not happen very often. And when especially just like language test, grammar test, so the grammar components are checked, the knowledge about grammar components, but it does not check real world language use. Okay, see the example, instead of testing vocabulary definitions, so rather than putting questions about the vocabulary definitions, you can have students use those words in conversation or writing task. Okay, so then rather than asking the definition of certain words, why can't you ask your students to use these words meaningfully in sentences? Okay, so sometimes you also might have done in front of the word, the meaning is written, even in English. But here it says that we have to use assessment to reflect real world language use. Then transparency. So there should be a transparency in the assessment. That means assessment should be clearly communicate to the students, and it should not be something hidden. So then assessment, paper, test, it should be transparent. Anything should not be hidden. And then fairness. There are diverse students with diverse learning style and background. Therefore, we have to do the justice for all. So we need to have a variety of assessment methods to cater to students with different strengths and weaknesses. Okay, so then the same type of assessment do not work. There should be various type of assessment, and when you prepare this assessment, you have to think about the overall idea. That means we need to use variety of assessment because the students are different and their strength and weaknesses are different. So if we prepare assessment catering only to students who are clever, what will happen to the students who are weak? So therefore, when we are preparing assessment, we have to have the policy of being fair. Okay, your assessment should not be biased to one particular set of students. It should be common to all. Okay. So let me arrange the slides. Otherwise. Okay. Here, so up to now we were talking about principles of effective assessment. So we were talking about validity. Validity means the assessment should check what it intended to check. If it is a speaking test, Speaking ability, speaking skill should be checked. There's no point of checking memorization ability. And then reliability. So when similar two assessments are conducted, there should not be a vast difference in the marks obtained by students. And then we talk about authenticity. So then there should be tasks in the assessment which reflect real world situations. And assessment should be very transparent. Assessment should be very transparent. The assessment criteria instructions should be very clear to the students. And then finally, we talk about fairness. That means assessment should not be biased to any. Okay, so then when you have assessment, you should know there are different levels of students and your assessment should cater all, not only clever students, not only weaker students, everybody. There are some additional important principles. Just have an idea.
Okay, madam.
Okay. And these are also some additional principles regarding assessment. So then when we prepare assessment, it should be balanced. Balance in the sense we are here talking about language assessment. So there are 4 main skills in a language: listening, speaking, reading, writing. So when we prepare assessment, actually we should try our level best to measure all these skills. But most probably we know most of the assessments, they are regarding writing skills only. But there should be assessment for speaking, listening, reading, writing. Okay, not subject wise. I mean, when we are teaching small kids, just imagine primary classes when we think about English language subject. So when the English teacher is preparing assessment, there should be assessment for all these skills. Or in one assessment, the teacher can include all these skills. And then there are different types of assessment: formative, summative, all should be used. And you know, formative assessments are used while the program is going on, and summative assessments are done at the end of the program. Okay, so then teacher should use both. And there's no point of having only formative assessment without summative. There's no point of having summative assessment without formative. And then every time when teacher conducts an assessment, teacher has to give students feedback. And this feedback should be very clear, specific, timely. And then 1 month after the assessment, there's no point of giving feedback because student can't remember the assessment. And then teacher should train students or develop self-assessment skills among students. So rather than always depending on teacher's assessment, so we have to practice our students to, we have to teach our students to practice self-assessment skills. Okay, then only the students can become autonomous or else independent learners. Okay, otherwise they will be dependent. Next. We'll go to this part, types of assessment and evaluation. Okay, just get an idea.
Okay, madam.
Harry, okay. Types of evaluation. There are two main categories of assessment, but remember here the terms assessment and evaluation are used synonymously. So whether it is evaluation or assessment with the same meaning that you have to understand. So there are formal assessment, formal evaluation or else, and informal assessment or evaluation. Okay, there are a variety of different tools for each type. We'll see what are formal, what are informal.
Okay, madam.
Harry, okay. Here, formal assessments. So these formal assessments are well structured and they have some pre-decided criteria to mark. So then they are just like snapshots. Snapshots means photograph of a student's knowledge or skills at a particular point in time. Okay, so structured assessment. For an example, test. So test can be multiple choice questions, fill in the blanks, matching variety, or essay format, or maybe all. So these tests are normally used to assess grammar, vocabulary, and reading comprehensions. You know that. So they are formal assessment. Tests are formal assessment. And see.
Okay, ma'am.
Hari. Okay, we'll see quizzes. Then quizzes are shorter and less comprehensive than tests. Quizzes are simpler than a test. And they can be used to check understanding of specific concept or skills. So for a whole syllabus, we cannot have a quiz or quizzes. So for a lesson, we can have. It's like that. That means quizzes are simpler than test. Have you done quizzes when you were studying? Okay,
Yes.
whether you have done it or not, you should remember quizzes are there for evaluation and assessment, and that is a formal one. And then compositions. So normally for writing, we have compositions, writing assignments, and they allow students to show their writing skills, grammar knowledge, and ability to organize ideas. And then presentations, they are also very formal actually. Oral presentation, maybe the students' organization skills, how to use visuals, fluency, speaking skills as a whole can be measured. All these are, that means test, quizzes, compositions, presentations, they are formal assessment. Now we'll see what are informal assessment.
Okay, madam.
Okay. So informal assessment. So from the term itself, you can understand informal, they are not formal. So less structured, formal assessments are well structured, informal assessments are less structured. So they use to gather information about students' learning. So then these informal assessments can be used at any time. But even though they are called informal, don't think that they are not important, they are valuable. So they also give us a clear idea about students' progress, and according to their performances on informal assessment also, we can take some decisions. For an example, observation. Observation is an informal assessment. Okay, so then while students are doing group work, pair work, as the teacher, you can observe them. And then you can see how they participate in the activity, how they interact with each other, how they use language. Okay, from that also, you can give them marks, observation. Turn this that way. Formal assessment, observation, and then see, these are also informal assessment.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so here you can see questioning. The teachers, they use very often questioning. So that is also a type of informal evaluation, informal assessment. But if the teacher is asking well-organized, well-crafted questions, the teacher can get an idea about students' understanding. Okay, so then that is also really useful. So then asking questions, the teacher can identify the areas where students are facing problem, and teachers can promote critical thinking, asking questions. So even though asking question is informal, it is really effective. And then journals, students can be asked to write journals on their learning experiences. And that is also an informal assessment, but very useful. And portfolios. So the students are showcasing their progress over a time. And you all have done portfolio, I suppose. So they can include whatever they want inside portfolio as a whole. Writing samples, the projects, the reflection, photograph, a self-assessment, anything. Okay, they are also informal but very, very effective. These are also informal assessment.
Okay, madam.
Okay, a self-assessment. And you know what self-assessment? So the students are doing it, not the teacher. But teachers should always promote self-assessment because self-assessment will be beneficial for them throughout their lifetime. Okay, so when students do self-assessment, it's a kind of metacognitive ability. You know what cognitive? Cognitive is, do you know the difference between cognitive and metacognitive? You have an idea or you do not have an idea? Hi, okay, whatever it is. So then self-assessment helps to develop metacognition. And then peer assessment. And you know peer assessment, that is peers, your colleagues. The students can provide feedback to each other's work, fostering collaboration and critical thinking. Peer assessment is also very effective rather than giving a teacher giving feedback. Students can get feedback from their friends. Peer assessment, that is also informal but very positive. Okay, so then now we got to know different types of assessment, and then we got to know some are formal, some are informal. Whatever it is, the best type of assessment, it's a combination of formal and informal methods. So then only if the teacher can get a well-rounded picture of the students' learning. And don't conduct only formal assessment. Don't conduct only informal assessment. It should be a combination. So that is the advice given to the teachers. Okay, so up to now, is it clear?
Yes, madam.
And okay, now we'll go to the next section. Now, let me just adjust this. Okay, now we'll go to this. Okay, types of evaluation. Some of you know this already, but just to complete this lesson, we need to know about it. There may be some students who are not aware of this.
Okay, madam.
Okay, so then types of evaluation, I just told you early. Also, placement evaluation. So, placement evaluation is done before a program. Program in the sense an educational program starts. Before an educational program is started, placement evaluation is done. The purpose of placement evaluation is to check whether students are having required knowledge to follow this particular program. So then from the placement test, only those who are having that knowledge, required knowledge, they are recruited. They are allowed to do the program. Okay, so then I have given you one example. I know there are some students here also who completed higher national diploma in English at SLEA. So before they go there, before they are recruited, they had to face a placement test. Okay, so then those who got qualified from that only are allowed to follow the program, placement evaluation. Okay, so then nothing has been taught from the program when placement evaluation is done. I suppose it is clear to you. And then the second one, formative evaluation.
Finish, madam.
Yes. Formative evaluation is done while the program is going on. Program has been started, it is going on, but still it did not come to an end. Okay, so then the purpose of formative evaluation is to get feedback continuously necessary for teachers and for students. So for an example, monthly test can be taken as formative evaluation. Test at the end of a lesson unit, they are formative evaluation methods. Okay, so then considering formative evaluation methods and its marks, the teachers can decide on their teaching and students can have an idea about their way of learning. Formative evaluation. Okay, so then based on the feedback obtained from formative evaluation or formative assessment, teachers can amend their teaching. Okay, so they can change their way of teaching based on the feedback. Okay, we'll go to the next one. Okay. A little more. And here, sorry. And okay, now there is another assessment, a diagnostic assessment or diagnostic evaluation. Just have an idea.
Okay, madam.
Okay. Diagnostic tests are there. They are very important, but they are not very common like placement evaluation or formative evaluation or summative evaluation. So why these diagnostic tests are done, if we find the answer for that, the reason is actually sometimes teachers notice some students are having some persistence errors. And even though teachers try to help them to overcome their problems, they will never come out of it. For an example, some students are having reading problems. Some are having problems in writing, just like that. Okay, so then the reasons for this cannot be searched using formative or summative methods. So then the teacher has to do a different particular inquiry. Inquiry in the sense that's a kind of evaluation. Sometimes the teacher has to talk to the students personally. Sometimes a teacher has to talk to the friends, sometimes parents, other teachers, or then the teacher can discuss the students about his or her family background, all these things. This is just like how a doctor is diagnosing a disease. Okay, the doctor cannot at once tell exactly what it is. The doctor has to take some reports and check and wait and decide. Okay, that is diagnostic evaluation. But in Sri Lankan context, I suppose very rarely these evaluations are done. Did you get an idea about diagnostic evaluation?
Yes, madam.
Okay. Next, here the same. Sometimes the reading problem may be because of weak eyesight. Sometimes I'm just telling. Okay. So then whatever the test given to the student, that problem cannot be overcome. So sometimes the student needs to be led to an optician just to check eyesight or something like that. The reason for this problem cannot be revealed by a general test. For that, diagnostic tests are needed. So we'll go to the last one here, summative evaluation.
Okay, madam.
Yes, the summative evaluation, it is done after the program is over. So when the program is over, this evaluation is done. Maybe term test, end semester exams, A-level exam, even O-level, they are kind of summative evaluation. Purpose of summative evaluation is to decide about their future progression. After A-level, it is decided whether the student is going to university or else how she continue his or her higher education. And after O-level, the students decide which stream they are going to do their A-levels in, like that. And this is a general topic. Same. We'll do this. We'll do this. Okay. Some specific techniques for using assessment for learning in the classroom.
Okay, madam.
Harry, okay. So these are some specific techniques that teachers can use to assess students learning in the classroom. They are very quick. They don't take much time. See, for an example, exit tickets. What is that? That's very common in education. It's not a ticket actually. Exit, you know the meaning of exit. Exit tickets, that is short prompts or questions at the end of a lesson to get an idea about students' understanding. So when a lesson is over, the teachers quickly ask some questions. And from the way that students answer these questions, teachers get an idea whether they have understood the lesson or not. So they are called exit tickets. And then quick quizzes, and the teachers can organize well where the quizzes, and quickly also the teachers can go for quizzes. And that is also with the intention of checking the understanding. And then think, pair, share, that is also very common. The students think about something alone, and then students talk about what they think with their partner or their friends, and finally they present it to the class. Think individually, pair, discuss with the pair, share to the whole class. These things are there then.
Okay, madam.
Yes. KWL chart, have you heard of it?
No, ma'am.
Hari, okay. It's a simple thing. These are well known all over the world, but they are very simple. So when teachers are going to teach something, the teacher can write on the board, blackboard or whiteboard, a chart with 3 columns. There are 3 columns. The first column is named as K, second as W, third as L. K for what students know. Okay, so then what students know. So just imagine the teacher is going to start a new reading lesson. So before doing the lesson with the students, teacher is telling this is what we are going to do. This is about the road accidents. What do you know about road accidents? Then students will tell this and that. Then teacher will write down them in point form. Then teacher asks, what do you want to know? That is under W column. Know, want to know. Then the students will say, we like to learn about this and that. And the L column is what they learn. Okay, so then the teacher can check, or the students can know whether they learned something, or is it something that they already know, or something that they wanted to learn. Okay, anyhow, KWL chart is very famous. That can be implemented in primary classes also, because you are writing, students are not writing. What students know, what students want to know, what students learn. L column is filled after the lesson. K and W columns can be filled before you start the lesson. And then you can ask students to have self-assessment checklist. Okay, so some students, clever students, they are maintaining. And then peer assessment is another one. The students are giving feedback to each other's work. And then it promotes collaboration and critical thinking. Okay. That is the end. I will share the slide with you. So what we did today, it's a big lesson that is about assessment and evaluation. Okay, do you have any question regarding this? When are you going to have your exam? You have no idea?
They didn't inform us, ma'am.
Hari, okay. I suppose maybe in the month of December, that's what I heard. I can't remember exactly. Hari, anyway. Okay, shall we wind up the session for today then?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, then good night.
Right, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.